take over. I have a lurking feeling that Guru doesn't like us because he's given us the difficult task of sharing 40 years experience in 40 minutes. It's like sucking a football to a 50 feet hose pipe. And therefore, we'll stick to the timeline that you have given us. And before I start, I'd like to give a broad overview and a little bit about myself and how I started my journey. I was posted in Novotel in 1988, and I did not know the spelling of environment those days. And I got 2 calls from the Commander-in-Chief of Navy and from the Conservator of Forest, and they told me, please fix your tourists, they are messing up the islands. And police person that I am, without the kind, I guess I'll do something about it. I did nothing for 2.5 hours. And then I started feeling guilty. And my first initiative was to address and start Swachh Bharat Abhiyan in a very manual way during those days. We eliminated a lot of waste of a hotel, and I realized how hotels are designed for waste. Eliminated all that waste. The story is very long. And we also work very deeply in water management, where the water supply was cut at 1 day's notice from 10,000 liters per day to 2,000 liters per day. So I saw bright star on bright sunny day. And then there again, we got deeply into demand side management and approach to supply side management. To cut the story short, coming to the present, we all know that climate change is a multi-layered challenge. It's going to impact us in our lifestyle, agriculture, availability of water, etc. And according to the United Nations, IPCC, International Panel for Climate Change, the world is allowed to emit 2,900 gigatons of CO2 from pre-industrial age till the end of 2050. Till 2011, the world had already emitted 1,900 gigatons. Approximately 1,000 gigatons remains produced from the beginning of 2011 to 2011 to stay at 2 degrees Celsius. We are, ladies and gentlemen, we are staying on very thin ice. And all the incremental ideas that we have been hearing, that I have been hearing in many conferences, will not do. Because our population has grown to already 8 billion and likely to be 10 million depending on the rate of freedom that they enjoy. And common sense mathematics says that when the denominator is dynamic and the numerator is finite with resources, the math doesn't work out. And therefore, our industry is very resource intensive, right from mining phase to use phase. And we have to cut down all our resources, which is right under our nose. So, and therefore, certain principles that I learned in both ways, like circular economy, the words I didn't know I was not ready. We got into circular economy, then we got into life cycle analysis, life cycle cost, without going to the terminology, and on a very easy level, we say 10% without any AP, GD, and Y. And today they charge you arm and leg for doing it. So having given you this brief background, I'm going to start first with Vineet, nice talking to you this morning. Vineet, very briefly, can you share some of the sustainable initiatives of your hotel? But please avoid rainwater harvesting, solar, and STP because that's mandated. Whatever sense is done, and your change has to do.
Alright, so namaste and good afternoon everyone. Like Mr. Khatri said, I will not speak about rainwater harvesting, STP, or the norms which are actually mandated towards us. Neither will I speak about the other initiatives such as bottled water or looking at a plastic-free environment which we've already experienced in the last couple of days. I will speak about something else that we are looking at. As I thought, of course, by 2050, the idea is that we want to be carbon neutral. It's a big commitment. It's not that we've set something of this sort today. We've already been doing a lot of work on it. Now, at a hotel, operational, at a Pullman level, we've been doing a lot of small initiatives from our end. And I think each one of them can stack up with the larger picture that we all are working here to achieve. A small one, which you may have just observed, maybe this 6,000 square feet small garden that we have, the herb garden. It is beautiful, it's absolutely organic, and we use it to produce vegetables, some fruits. We also have our farmer's basket where you can see fresh produce being kept over there from our farmers who do sustainable farming. And the guests actually allowed to choose this item, and then we cook it fresh in front of them. So of course it's reducing wastage. Wastage becomes a very, very large part of our entire operation on the ground. And the hotel actually has a waste management program where our entire waste of the hotel actually goes to a plant where it is used for energy production. And I'm very happy to share that in the first quarter of this year, 95% of our energy came back from such a source from where they actually use wastage into electricity. So this is something which we were really able to work with. Besides that, I really want to emphasize one thing. I don't think so it's just that by changing a straw or changing a bottle we can make these changes. I think our mindset has to change, and it's just not the operation team or the GM or the senior leaders, it's also our team on the ground need to understand this. As hoteliers, our responsibility also comes slightly larger, because when our guests come across, and in our hotel every morning we have close to about 1,000 guests having breakfast. When they notice these changes in an environment where they are spending time, they also slowly start getting mentally conditioned to the fact that they should take these practices back home. And that's how we try and emphasize this across. Along with this, whatever gets measured gets done. So in Angkor, and specifically under Mr. Pullman Dhawan's leadership, it's also been a goal for us that we have to work on this. We have to achieve a certain number of targets, and that's a part of our KPIs. So when there's measurement, there's performance which also gets equated, and it's working very well for us. Thank you.
Good. I like what you said. We have to change our mindset. So there are some strategies which are under your nose, which does not require any capital. One of the mistakes the hotel industry makes is that they keep the curtains closed during daytime. And now it's winter time. If summer if you close it, I can understand that. But winter it can be open and not put with 30 lights. A. B. Is the hotel industry considering reducing the GSM of the towers? These Turkish towers, 650 GSM. Bring it down to 350 GSM. You instead of using 20 liters of water, you'll be using half the amount of water. And there are enough such opportunities in existing hotels where when you implement it, you'll be laughing away to it. And yesterday I checked into your hotel, the temperature was 18 degrees, and immediately switched off the AC. So can we have the temperature at 24 degrees? Or use smart systems so that if you know that somebody is coming at 1 o'clock, the AC picks in at 1:30 or whatever. Just giving an example. Thank you very much for that input. Thank you. Now the second question is to my friend Nishchal, Director of Engineering of Indian Hotels. I know that IHCL is doing a lot of work on sustainability. You have schemes like Earth Check and Bhatia, and you're planning to become net zero carbon. So which is the year that you are going to be net zero carbon? I think I read in the papers 2040. Is there any plan to prepone that? Because today we don't have the luxury of time. As you know that 2 years back it was said by IPCC that we will reach 1.5 degrees by 2035. Then about a year back they said 2030. Now I'm reading this going to happen by 2027. So I think we have to have more ambitious strategies to reduce our emissions. So do you have any such strategies in place which we do not know of? Would you like to share some of that or anything else?
Good afternoon. Well, the organization is led by the partner of 6 years of partner, and we have one known as environmental exploration. Under this, our aim is to get more with the sustainable with the partners who will help us to get the path of reducing carbon footprints. And we are working with multi-dimensional vendor partners to reduce ethical consumption, water protection, and carbon emission. as well as we elect a vendor which works with the two projects. One is which helps us to do IDC IT project with the sustainable police system. And we have done 3 pilot projects where we had done environmental police system, and we had seen tremendous amount of savings in terms of ROI and the savings in terms of reduction of the carbon footprints. Number 2 is fossil fuel laundries. We had changed almost 6 laundries. These are also the 5 in Pullman, and there are tremendous saving in terms of carbon footprint reduction. So these are the small paths which are working towards net zero emission, and hopefully we will be having less amount of emission.
Thank you. Gunjan, you brought change to the pioneer, and all your projects are platinum rated, and 10 of your projects are net zero carbon. I'd like to know from you, what more have you done in housekeeping to reduce your carbon intensity?
No, it all, sir. But yes, I'd like to reiterate. You all know that LEED Platinum certificate focuses on energy efficiency and sustainable material procurement, sustainable science, improved air quality, etc. And in ITC, we complement all this in housekeeping per se, I would say. We have used chemicals which are friendly, user-friendly, environment-friendly. They don't harm any environment or human beings. Waste segregation is something that we do at source. So we have dustbins with partitions, wet and dry. Even in guest rooms now, we are educating the guests, putting 10 cards everywhere of what all efforts we are making, how they can help us in reducing air conditioning loads and helping us not change linen and save energy. The equipments in the laundry are installed in such a way that they help us save water and other energies. And of course, in horticulture also, we promote plants which are native to the place, and we have all drip irrigation in place so that there is less consumption of water. And Mr. Mishra mentioned about the plastic bottles. Yes, we have done away with a lot of plastic, all the plastic bottles. We have in-house bottling plant, we call it Shunya Aqua, and that helps us go away with 95% of plastic garbage from the hotels. Besides, every hotel is now moved to plastic-free amenities. So yes, these are the initiatives.
Thank you. We are very lucky in the hotel industry that we have very significant radius of influence and stretches all over the world. So one of the simple ideas that you can perhaps implement, since you take a lot of these initiatives proactively, is to perhaps create a triangular separation system in the existing dustbin and put signage, dry waste, wet waste, and batteries, etc. I don't want to increase your cost. Be innovative, be resource efficient, and enter the perception arena of the guest mindset. Because by and large, our guests couldn't care less about these things, they'll mix everything, and then some guy down the line, he or she is messing up with our waste. I think we should be empathetic to the need of the last person who's having it.
So to that, I'll also add that apart from the initiative and education that we are giving to the guests are equally conscious that they want to, look for things like this. Besides that, what we do is that our garbage is collected by an authorized vendor who knows how to dispose of items accordingly.
I'm saying something else, whereby I'm a guest, I segregate and deal with this. It becomes easier for your operation. Thank you, Gunjan. And now we are going to Francis. Francis, your show is very important job. And my question to you that are you looking at the sustainability perspective of your suppliers, and what kind of criteria have you set for them if I'm your supplier to shake my hands with the velvet glove and I'm just going to bring about changes?
Good afternoon. an organization, we have a lot. But if you look at it in this holistic manner, it's probably a drop in the ocean. There is so much more that we can do. And as leaders in this kind of a space, all of us, we have the extended supply chain that we are talking about. And while we have a lot at our end and we continue to do, we are also engaging with a lot of suppliers. First is to bring awareness about this. And in the process of bringing awareness, first is to start measuring it in some reasonable way, which tell us and others as to how we are progressing, what we are doing, what are the targets we are taking, what is the stretch that we want to achieve in this, and educate our partners as to how we can also do the same thing in their areas. Obviously, there are certain suppliers where you have much higher level of influence than others. So typically, we would start with somebody who is there, or somebody who is getting introduced newly. We have this criteria as to the framework that one would use to evaluate. It was always quality, cost, efficiency, but now we also introduced parameters which relate to things like, for example, the way of working over there, what kind of environmental initiatives they have taken, what is their share of, let's say, solar energy, their total processing, how are we delivering the goods, for example. I mean, does everything necessarily needs to be packed into plastic, or can it be in some other methodology that we can do? So we are driving these kind of changes into the supply chain. We have started to insist that these be respected, and is now an important criteria to do business with us. So that are some of the things that we are definitely doing. I definitely believe that within the industry, there's a lot much more that we can do. We have all replaced the plastic toothbrush with the wooden toothbrush. We have replaced the plastic bottle with the glass bottle. But I look towards a time, for example, today, when a guest comes into a hotel, if he or she wants to use the Wi-Fi, it is intensely protected. You know, there is a password. You can use 4 devices at a time. If you want more, you have to buy some package, etc. But the same guest can go into the bathroom and, you know, have a shower or a tub wasting 100 liters of water, but we don't charge for the water. So I look forward to a time where, for example, we might give the Wi-Fi free of cost, but we start charging for the water that is being used, what is the energy that is being used. For example, you made a point about the temperature being 18 degrees. Okay, are we going to incentivize somebody if he or she decides to keep the temperature at 24 degrees? Unless we look at that from a behavioral change point and start incentivizing or start making people aware that this is what can be done, I don't think that change in the mindset that Vineet spoke about some time back at the start is possible. Sometimes I wonder, a conference like this, is it really sustainable? I mean, we had probably, 500 people traveling across, coming together, how many vendors, etc. Is it really a sustainable way to preach sustainability? Could this have been done better? I mean, what if the whole thing was taken on an online conference? I don't know, sometimes I think about that, and I think that for everything that we do, we need to first filter it through the lens of sustainability. Otherwise, a lot of time it will just be a lot of preaching and no action. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. I want to give you 2 virtual hugs, because the sound bites I picked up from your reply. One, you said, we were a very humble beginning, you have a long way to go. You're very candid, I like it. Because people can see supreme emotion, so I respect you for that. And the fact that you raised the point on Novotel, very important to dwell on. And now I go back to Vineet. The next question is, are you engaging with the guests and making their visit a little more lively, besides telling them go and see Qutub Minar, Ma and Tube and all that? Let them see all that, no problem. Because in every hotel, I know that there are some long-staying guests, and they become friendly with you. And sometimes they are bored on Sunday, or a few other days also. You are in a very beautiful location that 30 kilometers from here, with a terrace center on the Faridabad road. is India's first green building, because I saw the construction of that when I was in CII in '97. And they are using earth heating and cooling for that place. And you also have a larger version of that in New Orleans. It's a 90-acre land where the NIT campus is run completely on earth heating and cooling. Ladies and gentlemen, those who are not aware of earth heating and cooling, the ambient temperature is always 23 degrees, 3 meters below the ground. And if we pull in this air in summer, you get cooling, and if you pull in this air in winter, you're getting heating. And this has been very 0.0001% have been utilized in our country. So at least if you send your guests to see this, then you are populating more ideas. Number one. Number two, I spoke to one of your staff who asked them, where you get your water from? She said, I'll get back to you. And she got back to you very promptly. And she said, we get tankers and underground water. Now, I also heard in the past that Aerocity, all the hotels are like that. So my concern is, are these hotels sustainable? Okay. And I decided not to ask this lady at what depth are you getting the water from, because she'll have gone to spin again. So these answers must be available to your people who are the cutting edge, people like us sitting in the office, their answer strategy. They must have all the information on the fingertip. So here you have an opportunity to work collectively. I don't know how many hotels are here, and see how you can set up X number of ponds in the villages of Haryana or Rajasthan. So if I'm a poor farmer, take 5% of my land from me and make a pond, and it costs me 20,000 rupees to make a pond. And I'm saying this because I've funded 2 or 3 ponds in Tumakuru district, which is not a stress. So when you're making the first 2 ponds, people are laughing, there's no water here, and these fellows are stupidly making a pond. And last year it rained so heavily that in 2 days these ponds went up. So you have to lay the tracks and then only wait for the train to come. If you don't lay the tracks, you're not going to get water. So these are the opportunities that you need to work on. So if you're not taking your guests to these places, can you make it part of your menu?
Sure, I think that's very, very valuable feedback, and we will try our best to stitch this into our itinerary. Just speaking a little off topic, you spoke about ponds, Talab. There's a very nice book called Aajli Ghare Talab. It's been translated to at least 20 languages, the way I know it. It was written by a gentleman, late Shri Mishra, who happened to be Anupam Mishra, who happens to be my uncle. And environmental protection, and he was involved in Gandhi Smriti for a very long time. His book is available also online, and it has no copyright. So if you ever get a chance, it speaks about how villages in Gujarat and Rajasthan actually worked on rainwater harvesting, and how Indian societies for thousands of years have actually evolved. It's a very, very good read. It's not a very big read, so I strongly recommend if you ever get your hands on it. It'd be excellent. Now, to just come back to your point about tankers, there are times when you have to get them, reason being that the water or the situation forces you to do that. But at the same time, there are times when you are actually having excessive STP water, which is processed, and it can be used for various reasons at the property, because we do run a fairly busy operation over here. What we do is we actually reach out to the various construction sites near us and proactively offer this to them. So rather than them trying to source this from 50 or 30 kilometers out and get some khacha water over here, we are actually donating this water back for usage as much as we can. To your point, Mr. Khatri, with regards to our guests, how are we engaging? Honestly, if you ask me today, the Data is engaging with you more than you want times. They really want to know how exactly and what kind of initiatives that you're taking care of. Our guest, the feedback system also has this very relevant question over there, asking our guests, did you see sustainable measures that you stated? Which is also giving us feedback on how we can make it better, how we can engage with them. Today, we have an excellent mint which goes with us over here in our garden. We have parents who come across and take their children there, they engage with our gardener who's been taking care of this, our chefs over there. they like to tuck those leaves up. They actually want to be part of this whole journey, and the more you engage, the more you're able to spread this message out. So I think it's a two-way street for us, and we have to keep on, of course, engaging and speaking with them more and more, and also understanding from them. There was once a stand-up comedian who made this whole joke about certain hotel chains were known in every bathroom of the country, not knowing the hotel chains because of their own amenities. I came privy to discussion as a very young manager where you all used to be worried that if you put this soap dispenser, a hotel's positioning will go down. How does someone actually take the fact that he does not have a plethora of amenities? And I'm sure a lot of people resonate with this, but we did it, and it's worked so well. And the fact is that we are able to actually save. And it may be as we said, Jira, but amongst all of us, there is close to about 20,000 Jiras around the world, which if you add up, will become at least a morsel if nothing else. So one step at a time, I think we all should continue doing this. Thank you.
To respond to that, I was very happy to see the Bazaz growing It's again a model of reducing your carbon footprint of agriculture. So again, another problem. Now, the rich kids eating it doesn't excite me, but it's good, at least we're educating them. I started an initiative on nutrition in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. It's been rolled out to about 265 villages. Then the NGO that teaches children education, poor children. I told them, please give these children experiential education. Then what do you mean? I said, give them education, taking care of the nutrition of the mind, but also taking care of the nutrition of the body, because 75% of people in this country are malnourished. And government of India cannot do anything. So what I suggested to them was to give these kids 6 saplings, moringa, papaya, guava, lime, banana, and gooseberry. These are superfoods. And let the kids dig the pits in their respective homes and plant it and take care of it with their families. So you're teaching them collaboration, you're teaching them to dirty their feet and wet their hand, and next year they send you pictures of the fruits which are growing over there. And through the kids you're putting money in the marginalized farmers' pocket. Now, you are also living in a region where Mulu and Mewat is a very, very poor district in the whole state. How do we start this? Now you should to do that. Use this supply chain. Don't do all the work yourself. Don't work hard, work smart. If I'm a supplier, step on my table and say, you do this. Help them learn. These are the ideas that we need to do across the country, because in India we have only 28 trees per person. Canada has 9,000 trees. China has 146 trees. We have to increase the numbers. Okay? Thank you for that. Thank you. Nishchal, your next question. Is the chain working towards analyzing the energy model nexus? It's a very nebulous subject, completely not even talked about consultants and architects. Unfortunately, all architect friends have disappeared. I would have raised the point to them also. And many hotels are very happy. Oh, I get free water from my borewell. Okay, what else? How much energy are you using? You don't have these answers. But when you do your calculations, you'll find that spending a lot of money on that water. Drawing it from that great depth. And when you draw water from great depth, you get hard water, you get saline water, and then you buy all kinds of fancy equipment to clean it. So we compound the problem by doing all this. So, is there any work being done in ISCL on energy water nexus and to work toward being water positive change? Because it's not possible to be water positive in a place like this because of the limited land footprint. So when you don't have the space, do something 30-40 kilometers. So if you're in Mumbai, there's a lot of water hardship in Latur and other districts. Do these kind of ponds and these measures and take credit for them.
Undoubtedly, we are working towards zero discharge and water recycling tools. We're also in the pipeline, getting the green hydrogen. We're almost 35% of our hotels are using green hydrogen, very interesting, from production to distribution. And out of some hotels we are almost 100% green. In Maharashtra belt, in West Bengal, Transbengal, in Nepal. So these are the steps which we are taking towards the carbon zero things, and one will be soon as per zero emissions. And in terms of waste management, I think Taj Palace is the one hotel in NCR where we recycle our food waste which comes from the kitchens. We are almost producing 40 less biogas and using it back to our kitchens. And this is a major massive reduction in terms of carbon emission, and hopefully we will implement all these sister hotels and the hotels which are in India. Apart from this, the water in-house water bottle plant, we have almost 29 in-house glass water bottle plants in ISL, and as we talk right now, some are in partial stage and some must be in completion. The statistics, we have KPI and statistics our VP, which is the regular, and he keeps track of all these things, and hopefully I said right now it will be 50 the next time. So let's feel towards zero carbon emission, and soon we will achieve this. Thank you.
A sunflower tracks the sun and gives you sunflower oil. Gunjan, in your hotel you have solar concentrator, extracts the sun. Can you please tell us something about how much steam does it generate and what do you do with that steam? It's a beautiful example of environmentally and the sunflowers tracking the sun.
The solar paraboloid concentrator, this was installed in 2010. And it takes a space of about 320 square meters, generates 160 kgs of steam per hour, and it helps it helps us broadly in other areas of the hotel with steam and heat, hot water generation. This is made in such a way that as the sun moves, it also moves with the movement of the sun, and help with the steam in the hotel. And we have this solar reflective paints that we've done on the ceiling on the rooftop of the hotel, which is white in color, highly reflective, does not transmit the heat inside the building, and thus maintains the conservation also of the hotel.
Good. And can you please share some insight on the high albedo paint which you use on the rooftop to reduce the heat gain in the building?
Yes, this paint is highly reflective and it is white in color. It helps maintain the building approximately about 50% of the load of the building. So,
I hope Pullman is here. Is Pullman here? So, I wish you must use your, muscles, very strong muscles to work with the policymaker. You know that very well, and see how this can be a standard for the whole country. All the rooftops should be white to reduce the heat load. Because anyway, we'll have a offering conversation. The whole idea is that how do we scale up without using air conditioning? There was one architect, I think his name is Ashok. I was hearing about a year and a half. He said that by 2030 we need 175 gigawatts of energy just for air conditioning. Can you imagine what kind of heat load they'll throw in the city and how we'll enhance the heat oil effect? So we need to see how, without using technology, we cool our homes through very innovative, disruptive methods. Francis, the next question to you that you want to know of environment, social governance, which is gaining traction in the country. This is a scheme which has been mandated for 1,000 corporates who earn more than 1,000 crores or something of that sort. There's a criteria. And in that, People are working on scope 1 and scope 2 of the emission very well. It's the scope 3 emission in the supply chain which is getting neglected. So, has the engineering or has the renewal of the supply chain commenced? I think you answered this question a little earlier that we have made a very humble beginning. But let me just share a little bit of my own experience. I started this in 2000 when I came back to iSambhav, and I traveled all over the country, met 60 suppliers, and they became my friends in London. And my engineers were very upset with me because they said, "Aap jayenge, you will give them 5-star ideas, they will not listen to you." I said, "No, I won't do that. You come with me and see what ideas I give them." I used to take a very casual walk and used to find leaking tap, leaky code and things. Lights are on when they don't need lights because they have access to daylight. In one place, I kind of took the duster and cleaned the glass. You clean the glass, but you don't need this light on. So those are the kind of inputs I gave them initially. But then I went to deeper aspects of the business, and once they realized that was making money for them, they raised their standard. And some of them were filthy, dirty when I visited them in 2005, and by 2008 they were at 5 So this is an area of opportunity where you first need to step up and see few of them, and then create a smart checklist. So I'm your supplier, I give you all the details of what I am doing. And I'm bullshit also. Human nature. Surprise checklist. Okay. Right? Good.
Yeah, so CCP has mandated that the top 1,000 listed companies should start reporting their business responsibility and sustainability requirements, I think from year 2024-25. So as part of that, we have also started the process. First is of course the measurement process to understand where you are. So if you look at a score out of 100 based on whatever is the publicly available information, where is your score? So we were probably when we started the audit around 12 out of 100, if I remember correctly. We have engaged with partners across to understand how we can improve the score to at least 40 in the next 2 years. So the PRS requirements talks about sustainability is one, but it talks about a lot of other requirements. For example, how do you engage with marginalized communities and self-help groups of women? How do you do procurement from those areas? How do you ensure that your supplier is also following his own PRS guidelines? The new guidelines also has enhanced the scope. I think there are about 140 questions in different areas that the companies need to answer and present. Energy conservation, water conservation, all being part of it. We have started that journey. We are doing that report this year and next year in order to prepare ourselves. As far as the scope 3 emissions kind of go, yes, I think scope 1, which is basically what internally we are probably good at it. Scope 2 basically to do with energy requirements, but which has to be done by the supplier, is also very much highlighted. Scope 3, which is, and now I have sprint. So scope 3 basically, which is external to you, which is upwards and downwards, that is where a lot of the work has to be done. It has started. We are hopeful to make good progress because now this is being evaluated not at a lower level but at the very highest level. So the sustainability reports get discussed at the board level, and there are important pointers that come from there. So that everybody up and down the chain is also there. A lot of people up the chain are there. But what we've also seen is that unless you can transmit this message right down to the last employee on the chain as to what you are doing, what he or she can do, and how to present it in your interactions with guests, it is not going to be successful.
Francis, the lady has already showed me the red flag, and I'd like to end this conversation by sharing a quote that I heard from late Dilip Biswas, chairman of CPCB in 1995, and this quote has stuck to my mind like a leech. He said, "Our Veda said 5,000 years back, thou shalt not put even a rose petal in the river." What are we doing to our rivers? There is horrible conditions. When I was in school, I used to drink water from the Subarna directly. My mother didn't give me a bottle. So my submission to all of you is that please start offering small peg and large peg of water within your family, because we don't know each other's thirst quotient. And in hotels, when I come for lunch, the first thing they'll put water, then I'll order a lemon wali, then I'll order a beer, the water gets left behind. is thrown. And if you do a back of the envelope calculation, we say water is important, but we waste 200 crore liters of water every day, and I'm taking very conservative calculations. So on a happy note, I'd like to thank all of you, and thank you to the audience for sitting here post-lunch. Thank you.